We have a meeting with President Putin tomorrow. I think it's going to be a good meeting, but the more important meeting will be the second meeting that we're having. We're going to have a meeting with President Putin, President Zelenskyy, myself, and maybe we'll bring some of the European leaders along, maybe not. I don't know that it's going to be very important. We're going to see what happens. And I think President Putin will make peace. I think President Zelenskyy will make peace. We'll see if they can get along. And if they can, it'll be great. You know, I've solved 6 wars in the last 6 months, a little more than 6 months now, and I'm very proud of it. I thought the easiest one would be this one. It's actually the most difficult. We had one war raging, as you know, for 37 years. One in the Congo with Rwanda was raging for 31 years. We solved 6 of them, made peace, not just solved them, we made peace. If you look at Pakistan and India, that was, planes were being knocked out of the air. 6 or 7 planes came down. They were ready to go. Maybe nuclear, we solved that. I thought this would be maybe an easier one. It never made sense, this war. It would have never happened when I was president. If I were president, this war would have never happened. But millions of people have been killed. And I'm there for one reason, to see if I can solve. This was Biden's war. This isn't my war. I want to see if I can stop the killing.
Trump says Zelenskyy and EU leaders to hold talks after Alaska summit with Putin. U.S. President Donald Trump said he expects his meeting with Vladimir Putin to go well, but added that what will be even more important is the second meeting after the Alaska summit, where the presidents of Ukraine and Russia will be joined by Trump and possibly by some European leaders. Hours before departing for his meeting with Vladimir Putin, U.S. President Donald Trump said he expected the summit to be a good meeting, but added that it would not be the most crucial round of peace talks. The second meeting will be more important, Trump said, adding that he expects it to include Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelenskyy and possibly someone from Europe, in addition to Trump and Putin. Trump previously said that he would want the second meeting to take place as soon as possible after the Alaska summit. I'd like to see it happen very quickly after this meeting. I'd like to see it actually happen maybe in Alaska, where we just stay, because it's so much easier, he said. On Thursday, Trump described the upcoming Alaska talks as setting the table for the second meeting, which would include Putin and Zelenskyy. We are going to have the second meeting if the first one goes well, Trump said. When asked if a meeting with Putin could be perceived as a reward, Trump categorically denied it. President Putin would like to have a deal, Trump said, stating that, without me, he would take over all of Ukraine. But I am president, and he is not going to mess with me. It is the first time the U.S. president has suggested that European leaders might be invited to the second meeting. Trump has said repeatedly he wouldn't have allowed the conflict to start if he had been in office, and on the presidential campaign trail, said more than once he could end the war within a day. Since returning to office, Trump has criticized Zelenskyy, saying he should have made a deal with Putin to avoid the conflict. But more recently, he appears to be growing impatient with Putin, criticizing him for launching strikes on civilian targets in Ukraine and warning of severe consequences if he doesn't stop the war after Friday's talks in Alaska. Talks with Europe. On Thursday, a virtual summit took place initiated by the leaders of Ukraine and Germany in an effort to remind the world of one of Kiev's main diplomatic principles: nothing about Ukraine without Ukraine. Following the call with Trump and European leaders, Zelenskyy said the top priority both for Wednesday's talks and Friday's summit is a ceasefire, a sentiment that, according to him, Trump agreed with. We talked about ceasefire today. President Trump said this is one of his priorities in conversation with President Putin, Zelenskyy said after the call during a joint press conference with German Chancellor Friedrich Merz. I very much hope that some agreement will be reached, because so far all the talks held with Putin have ended only with him increasing military presence, intensifying attacks. According to Merz, European leaders were jointly trying to steer the Alaska meeting between Trump and Putin in the right direction. Like and subscribe for more.